they were letting all the players go. Clermont, I couldn't believe it, came knocking at the door along with, I think it was Biarritz, Toulon, these lovely exotic places on the beach I could have gone. But I went to Clermont because of that, running out on that atmosphere, goosebumps. It still gives me now talking about it. And I thought, wow, I want to, it was an opportunity of a lifetime. Money was good. I'm not going to sit here and say it wasn't. And the Euros, it was nothing to do with that. So, I mean, at the time then, obviously the emergence of Lee Halfpenny, he was coming through, great player. But I still had a lot to offer. And then, I went to France. It was myself, Jamie Roberts, James Hook. All these players were going. Gareth Thomas had gone, Stephen Jones in the past, but I thought, right, I'm not going to France because the type of player I'm and then going to come back after a year like a lot of players do, or don't do well out there. I'm going to buy into this and really like give it my all. And Vern Cotter, who's now coaching Fiji, he was picking me every week, and we had, again, playing for the Ospreys, I've been privileged to play in some great teams, but that Clermont team, Sivivatu, Wesley Fofana, Morgan Parra, Rougerie, Nalanga, Julian Bonnet, Cudmore, Benjamin Kaiser, it was nuts. Hines, Jason White, it was mental, mate. But I was holding my place down in that team every week, playing in Heineken Cups, got to the Heineken Cup final, 2 top 14 finals, and and just I was getting picked then to go back to Wales and then hold a tackle bag at the age of 31. I was paying my own flights. WIU'd stopped paying travel expenses.
Why?
They took it out of the contract. All players who went had to pay their own flights. So I was paying my own flights. So if I'd been in an autumn international squad, I was ending up taking home, because of all my flights, I would take and never play a game. I'd be out of pocket. But people didn't see that.
Of course.
And then, it just became a bit of a running joke. Obviously, Howley incident, he was sort of on my case a lot. And obviously, Lee Halfpenny was flavour of the month, which, great player, a really professional bloke. But I still had something to offer. And it was, and then I did an interview for Wales Online. It was one of the last years in Clermont. I hadn't heard from Rob now for like 2 years. I was still playing every week, and even Vern Cotter was saying to me in Clermont, like, what have you done? Were you pissed off? And I was like, I don't know. He was ringing the Welsh camp, finding out if I was going to be involved. They were saying no. So never heard from Rob. And then all of a sudden, Wales Online did an article. They rang me up and said, look, Jonathan Davis, Foxy's coming to Clermont. What's he going to go like with Wesley Fofana? And I was like, I spent about half hour on the phone saying, look, he'll improve his career as a player, as a person, as a Welsh nation coming back. Skills will be unbelievable. And he said to me, last comment was, what's happened to your Welsh career? And I just said, tongue in cheek, I think Howley's lost my number. Anyway, next day, all over the paper, Howley's lost my number. Nothing about Foxy.
Wow.
So, these reporters. So, anyway, he rings me up then and said, look, why are you slagging me off? And I said, well, I told him the situation. I said, well, if you want to know, that is exactly what's happening. I'm mute. So anyway, so that was that. And then weirdly, that weekend, we were playing Montpellier, and I went out on the field. I scored 2 tries. And I remember coming back to watch Wales were playing Argentina, and it was players like getting dragged off everywhere, injured. Hallamemos, Halfpenny, everyone was getting injured. I was thinking, fucking hell, I had a few wines at this stage. And then, Lord behold, who rings me again when I'm like up to there in a wine bar? It was Howley. I knew it for him like 2.5 years, and the first thing he said was like, Bernie, get on that flight. You're starting against Samoa. And I just thought, I'm not being spoken to like this. I'm enjoying myself in France now, and do I want to go back and I've got 47 caps. Do I want to go back and get 50 caps, but really not really be only there just for the injuries? Some people say, well, that's, it's a bit bitter of you, but I thought, well, do you know what? Fuck him, really. I'm not going back, and I never went back, and that was the end of my career, mate.
It's crazy because it's a sad ending, because it's like you said, you have so much to offer. You're playing in France, which is technically a better league, playing against top end world class players every week, and it's a shame. I don't know with Rob. Obviously, I don't know him personally, but I've heard you hear a lot of positives and negatives about everyone, but I don't know if it was because you were a Bridgend boy or what, or if he wants to be the top dog still and you were surpassing him. I don't know.
Probably a bit close to home. A lot of stuff like I said, would get back to him, have a few beers on the weekend or whatever. But that's not the reason. It's all about.
But you had your work rate, regardless of 31, was still high.
Yeah,
like your training efforts, like and I remember reading in the book, it was as if he'd be or you've been out on the drink and stuff like that, and question you all the time, where you'd be like, what the?
Yeah, I think there's a new breed coming through with Sam and George and Lee. These guys didn't drink.
Yeah.
They were teetotal. It was, and look, fair enough, something had to be done about it, but I think there's still a part of old school in rugby that needs to be there. I think, like, from my era anyway, I mean, I know social media is hard now, but some of the best times you have in memories, I'm a beer together in that changing room when you've just gone to war together. I mean, that's the feeling I miss when I retire, that feeling. And you can't get away from that. And I think, there's a line, but like I said, I went out to France and I was playing better than ever. But everyone wants that moment of walking off the field like Shane Williams scoring a try in his last touch of the game, don't they? But it doesn't always happen. But I look back now, it took a while, but to realize, I am proud of the career.
Oh man, like